Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we're back. UFC has returned after a unfortunate absence of a card last week. We are back with a card this week, and this is going to be some flyweight contenders facing off against each other. Some top-tier flyweight action, which, surprising, because this is the first flyweight main event. Oh, God. How long has it been since... Back in December, where it was for the title, it was Moreno versus Figueiredo. And then if you're talking about a non-title event, I don't even know. I have no idea. And I say December of 2021, because the co-main event was Oliveira versus Ferguson before Oliveira became champ. Oh my God. The flyweight division, they're still trying to recover after Dana White tried burying it because he didn't like Demetrius Johnson. I don't know. Regardless, this is going to be the card, and honestly, it is indeed a card, but it's taken some big hits, and it's not all that of a card, unfortunately. So look at the first fight, Maxim Grishin versus Felipe Lenz. Grishin, I've been liking how he's been doing lately, so he's going to be having my pick in this regard. Damon Blackshear versus Luan Lacerda. I'm not a big fan of Luan Lacerda's, his last couple fights did not really enamor me. Like, who was his last fight? It was against Stamen. Yeah, it's only one fight. But Damon Blackshear versus Luan Lacerda. I'm not a big fan of Luan Lacerda in his last fight, but I did like Blackshear in his last couple fights. I've liked Blackshear, what I've seen from him, win or lose. I think I'm actually going to go with the underdog in this case. Jinh Yu Frey versus Elise Reed. I'm not a fan of either of these two. I'm going to say probably Elise Reed. Jinh Yu Frey has not been looking good, and she's honestly in hot water. She needs to get this W, but I don't know. It's hard to go on like really, really low-ranked women's MMA fights. I don't like picking on those. Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz. I'm going to be leaning heavily towards Daniel Santos. He's been looking great in his fights compared to Johnny Munoz, and he's basically got that blonde hair Brazilian Oliveira style. He's a very competent striker, really good Muay Thai compared to Johnny Munoz. I'm going to pick Daniel Santos. Andrei Arlovski versus Deontay Mays. Man, when is Arlovski going to retire? When's he going to catch up with him, man? He's going to fall off a cliff eventually soon. 44 years of age, one of the oldest fighters on the roster. He's got wins in all three eras. I don't know, man. But Deontay Mays, not a fan of him. I'm not a huge fan of him at all. But Andrei Arlovski has the age thing going for him, which is probably why he's going to be the underdog. And both are coming off a loss, so it's hard to say, but I'm going to be leaning towards Andrei Arlovski, to be honest with you. Just because I'm not a big fan of Dante Mills' striking, and it's not like his grappling is anything special either. John Castantina versus Muin Gaffo. I'm be honest with you, I don't know enough about either of these guys to pick this fight. I apologize. I am so sorry. This fight hurts because this was supposed to be a much better fight than this. Jamie Mullarkey was supposed to fight Damir Ismagulov. Damir. That was going to be a good fight. Damir's only had 2 fights in UFC, but they were such good fights. This would have been so exciting. Instead, he's going up against, Jamie Mullarkey, he's going up against, Naimov. I've seen only one of his fights, and I believe it's on the regional scene. Nothing crazy, but Jamie Mullarkey's not amazing, to be honest with you, either. Jamie Mullarkey, we've seen him get beat up pretty bad, and honestly, I lean towards Johnson winning that fight. I think Johnson's won that fight. That wasn't anything crazy, and he got pieced up by Turner bad, so not a huge fan of either guy, but I'm going to lean towards Jamie Mullarkey. Wow. Heavy favorite. Oof. Oh, man. This is his debut. I don't know, man. Plus, he's a featherweight, too. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Mullarkey. I feel that's a little bit crazy, but all right. Nurmagomedov. Now I'm going to try his first name versus Elias Dos Santos. Surprised this is a pick'em. Yes, I know. It's a Nurmagomedov. Everyone's like, oh, you're just going to pick him because it's Nurmagomedov. No, he's actually pretty damn good. And like, I like him. He's got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got some pretty decent striking, but we've seen hardcore wrestling beats out Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Plus, also, never going off, he's been working on his striking. It's been looking really good. I know he's not related to the Habib family at all, but he's still really good. You don't go against the Nurmagomedovs or any of the Russians with the OVs, honestly. Karine Silva versus Kathleen Souza. I like Kathleen Souza. I think she'll win this fight. I don't have a huge analysis of this one. Both Karine Silva and Kathleen Souza. One was supposed to fight against Priscilla Cachoeira. I can't remember who, but poor Tim Elliott. Poor Tim Elliott versus Victor Altramano. Tim Elliott, this man, he's like, looking at fight statistic, I pick him. Tim Elliott's a little bit older in the fight game. Victor's a little bit newer, but he's got some solid striking. Flyweights don't do well if you're older. But the reason I'm going to be heavily picked with Tim Elliott is there's a rage inside this man. There's more likely a rage inside this man that's not... Yeah, he's... Oof. For those of you who don't know, you could go ahead and look up what happened to Tim Elliott. Poor guy. Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon coming back fast. Jared Gordon's a short notice replacement, if I remember correctly. And I heavily lean towards whoever Jim Miller's fighting originally. Can't remember who it was. But Jared Gordon, short notice. He just got knocked out by a headbutt, but he still just got knocked out. I don't know why he's a favorite. I'm going to be leaning towards Jim Miller hard. I feel that this is a hard lean towards for Jim Miller, to be perfectly honest with you. Jim Miller's, he's an age veteran, but he's still a winning veteran. The most wins in the UFC currently right now. He beat Cowboy to get that. He's still good. He's still good. Yes, he just did. He got knocked out actually in his last fight, if I remember correctly. It was a KO, was it not? No, it was a decision against Hernandez. When did he get knocked out? Never mind, ignore that. But yeah, no, Jim Miller's still good. He's got dangerous striking, dangerous submissions. He's a finisher. While Jared Gordon, he's not a finisher. He does not have hard hands. He does not have jiu-jitsu or grappling. Honestly, I'm gonna lean towards Miller. I think it's gonna be Miller easily, to be honest with you. And Alex Caceres versus Daniel Pineda. I'm going with Alex Caceres. Daniel Pineda trying to fight for rank. I like Alex Caceres from what I've seen from his fights, and I think he has the skills and tools needed to win this fight, so I'm going to be leaning towards him. Not a super analysis for that. And then going into the main event, Kaikar France versus Amir Albazi. This is going to be the best fight on the card by far. That's why I didn't talk super heavily about those other fights, because honestly, this is the fight we're here for and the fight we're most excited for. By the way, I hate the poster they did. Like, Kaikar France does not look like how he normally does. But regardless, I see already people have it as a pick'em. I don't know how I feel about pick'em for this fight, to be perfectly honest with you, but we'll break it down in a second. So it's going to be a flyweight title fight. It's going to be Kaikar France, 30 years of age, 24 wins, 10 losses. But don't let that record fool you. Don't let that record fool you. 11 knockouts, 3 submissions, 5'4" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 69-inch reach, advantage, a 0.51 takedown average, a 44.58% significant strike accuracy, and he's going to be according to this graphic currently, plus 105 underdog. He's evened up since I made this. Amir Albazi, 29 years of age, 16 wins, 1 loss. That's a pretty good record. But against whom? 5 knockouts, 9 submissions, 5'5" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 68-inch reach disadvantage, a 2.47 takedown average, 53.77% significant strike accuracy, minus 125 favorite as of this. Kaikar France's significant wins over Oscar Askarov, Cody Garbrandt, and Rogerio Bontorin, while Amir Albazi has significant wins over Alessandro Costa, Francisco Figueiredo, yes, Figueiredo's younger brother, and Zumilgov. I'm not going to try his first name. I apologize. I'm so bad at these names. But yes. So, Kaikar France. I lean towards Kaikar France. Now, you're probably going to be looking at that record, but he's fought a lot of guys, and he didn't start out the best, and a lot of those losses were accumulated before he even came to the UFC, but he's improved. He's a guy who's constantly been improving, and the people who he's lost to against top guys like Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja. No, not Pantoja. Forgive the last part. He's fought tough guys, but he's always learning. He's at a good gym, City Kickboxing, and he's one of the main guys at that gym along with Hooker, Izzy, Volkanovski, like all those guys. Eugene Behrman, a great striking coach, great coach overall. They're not going to let him just sit idly by. And then the major other thing to go into this is Kaikar France has shown that he has excellent takedown defense. Like, I wanna pull this up, but like his takedown defense is insane. 88%. He loses these fights by getting outstruck, which is surprising coming from City Kickboxing and being a striker. But it's just that's what Amir Albazi is his main thing. He's not a really good striker. He's got some striking. He can strike, yeah. But he's mainly a guy who takes you down and either beats you up or submits you. That's how we saw it in both his most recent wins against Costa and Figueiredo. Beat them up on the ground, submit, or beat them up and get a TKO. That's how he wins. Kaikar France has shown that that's not the way to beat him. Kaikar France took up Askarov before Askarov retired. I don't know why he retired. Honestly, the only reason I can see he retired is because he got butt mad that he lost. He always struck me as a kind of a douchebag. But, yeah, see, winning is the only thing on his mind. He's only had one loss. He's legit only had one loss to Kaikar France. And it was a great showing by him, but it was just showing that Kaikar France's takedown defense was just too amazing, was too excellent. Askarov's a guy I thought would be fighting for a title soon. And he still can if he just unretires, but that just goes to show the skill level of Kaikar France and how well he's really molded his takedown defense. I don't see Amir getting this to the ground. And even if he does, I see Kaikar France popping right back up. Askarov's way better grappler, I feel, than Amir. I do believe that. Because he's been more tested. He's fought against tougher guys than Amir. That's the main problem. Like, Askarov's fought against Pantoja. He has a win over... That's what I was confusing earlier, Kaikar France and Askarov. He has a win over Pantoja, Benavidez, Tim Elliott. He's fought against Moreno. Like, he's had much more experience. He's proven to be a much more better and experienced grappler, winning those fights against top guys. Kaikar France, he could not take down and defeat. Amir, his problem is, again, the best name on there he's fought, feels Gordon or Figueiredo's younger brother. It's like, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely good. I do like his grappling. It's just that his grappling is his only like real like option he has. It's just a poor stylistic matchup. Simply, that all it boils down to is this is a poor stylistic matchup for Amir. This is a good stylistic matchup for Kaikar France. He'll really push the pace. He'll defend against those takedowns, and then he'll just throw bombs. Amir's pretty tough. We haven't seen him in a really tough situation to say, I think Kai could knock him out. But Kaikar France has power. For the featherweight division, he's probably the second hardest hitter. The hardest, well, actually, he's probably hardest now, because I first said the hardest would have been Davison Figueiredo, but he's moving up to bantamweight. Or is he? I don't know. But Kaikar France, you put power for power against everyone in the flyweight division, I give it to Kaikar France. Yes, it's Cody No Chin Garbrandt, I get it. But Kaikar France took him out, eliminated him, knocked him out. And since then, Kaikar France has looked decent against bantamweights. He's went to decision. That's the thing too. Font. He went to a decision against Font. Yet, Garbrandt got eliminated in one round against Kaikar France. And then again, granted, going down to flyweight. That was not his weight class, shouldn't have been there. All I'm saying is just, I feel the power difference for Kaikar France and his takedown defense is all he needs to win this fight. Amir has some options. His grappling could have improved insanely, and he could be over Askarov. He honestly could. I don't know. I haven't seen his we haven't seen him fight in a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it literally hasn't been since December. So he's had 6 months to hone his grappling skills. Maybe he's better now than Askarov was, and maybe he's able to do what nobody could do to France. But there's also the option that Kai France could have still been compromised from that knockout against Moreno. But then again, that was a while ago. That was back in July. So then you can look at it and say, oh, well, maybe it's been a year since he's fought. Maybe he's got some ring rust or whatever. You see, I'm reaching at straws. My options for Amir winning, I'm reaching at straws, and I'm grasping at X factors. Ultimately, I'm going to be leaning towards Kai France. I don't like it as a pick'em. I don't. I feel Kai France should be a good favorite. I put him at minus 200. I don't know if he'll knock him out, though. I think it might go long. I think it might be a decision. But either way, it should be a fun fight. This should be an entertaining fight. Kai France is someone I do really enjoy. Watching him fight. I was so happy to see him sneak in there in the Moreno Figueiredo quadrilogy that I didn't want a forfeit. I'm honest with you. I did not want a forfeit. We needed it, but I don't like it. I'm not even a fan of trilogies, to be honest with you. I only want rematches, but then you need a trilogy. It depends. It's weird. Regardless, Kai France versus Amir Albazi should be a fun fight. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below. This has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.